What's up? It's Ian Koniak, and today I'm going to talk to you about keys to effectively sell during a recession. Now, I was fortunate enough to lead a sales team during the Great Recession from 2008 to 2009, and we grew 30% using the strategies I'm going to share today. I've also been able to grow my business to 7 figures during 2022, having my best year ever. So I have a history of really thriving during these recessionary times because of what I'm going to teach you. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you 3 tips. Tip number 1 is ignore the noise. Number 2 is focus on the process. And number 3 is adapt your messaging. Okay, so tip number 1, ignore the noise. What does that mean? Well, if you're constantly listening to the news or checking stocks or just being, ear to everyone's doom and gloom stories that are going on, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect how you feel, and it's going to be infectious. So what I do simply is I turn it off. I don't have the news app on my phone. I don't check my stocks. At the end of the day, it's only going to have a negative effect and get me worried. So I try and ignore the noise. Well, what do I do instead? I focus on the process. You see, if you have the right plan and the right process in place, and specifically if you're focusing on executing everyday revenue generating activities that drive success, that drive sales pipeline and advance your current deals, at the end of the day, you're not going to make excuses as to why people don't buy. If you think that people, frankly, are not going to buy anything right now because of layoffs or because of economic turmoil, that's going to affect how you show up. It's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you continue to work specifically in the way that you normally would and don't let any of that affect you, you are going to control your own destiny, and you're going to have the opposite effect, and you're going to be very successful. So ignore the noise and focus on the process. Now, there is something you need to do very, very differently during a recession, and that is this. Adapt your messaging. That is tip 3, okay? What I did during 2008, 2009, and I was selling a commodity. I was selling copiers and printers, and I'll tell you what I do now is you change your messaging based on the fact that companies are seeing slowing growth. They are having layoffs. They are seeing their stock prices and their valuations decline. VC funding is drying up. All that stuff's a reality. So how do we change our messaging to address those challenges that people are going through and that decision makers are going through? So let me give you a few simple examples of how to do this. I'll tell you what I did during the last recession. Again, I sold copiers and printers, and my messaging was really simple. It was, right now, companies are looking for ways to reduce costs. One of the areas that a lot of companies didn't previously look at is printing costs. And our company can offer a complimentary assessment to show you what you're spending on printing. That's your leases, that's your toner, that's your supplies, and we'll show you what we can potentially save you with a managed contract with Ricoh. And that messaging was really simple. Hey, if I can't help you or save you money, we're not going to propose, but most of the time we can save between 10 and 30% on your printing costs. Would you be open to discussion? And I took that to the CFO, and I took that to the CEO, and nearly all of them said yes. Then I trained my team on how to do that, and our team had every person over plan. Because at the end of the day, during a recession, during economic slowdowns, people are looking at ways to reduce costs, okay? They're looking at ways besides just laying off people to be more efficient. And if you're positioning your solution as something that could potentially help others do more with less or reduce costs, that's going to grab their attention as opposed to doing layoffs, okay? So that's what I did at Ricoh. I'll give you 2 more examples. The next example is what I'm doing now in my coaching business. Really simple. I'm selling coaching services on how to be strategic and how to sell larger deals. And if someone says, hey, I'm struggling right now, I use these 7 words. Use these 7 words, okay? You get an objection, and they say, I can't do it because I have no money, because I'm struggling. I say these 7 words. That's exactly why we need to chat. That's exactly why we need to meet. Because you're struggling, because you're not selling, you need my services more than ever. Because you have to lay off your employees, you need more efficient ways for them to work, to do more or less. Because your stock is shrinking, you need new ways to be competitive. In other words, use that as the exact reason they need to meet. Again, I'll repeat it. That's exactly why we need to meet. Any objection you hear about price or turbulent times, you say that's exactly why we need to meet. And then address it. Our software, our solution can actually help you right now maintain a competitive advantage. You see, fundamentally, during recessions, companies that come out stronger and better are the ones that reassess their processes and they create efficiencies and they become lean and mean and then come out and do the work basically that when they were growing too fast, they didn't have time to prioritize and do. Now is the time to actually do it. So that's the messaging. Now, if you're watching this, you probably sell software, I'm guessing. And software creates efficiency. Software automates manual processes. Software enables visibility. Software improves collaboration. So if you sell software, right, and people are going through layoffs, then you want to explain to them, this is exactly why we need to meet. You have less people that have to do this work, and you don't want them to quit. You don't want them to have to pay them overtime. You want them to be more efficient. Let's look at what they're doing manually that we could automate and look at what we can save them time doing, okay? So you really need to lean in to saving time, being more efficient, doing more with less, and reducing costs amidst the declining market. Okay, the last tip I'm going to give you with messaging is be empathetic. Lead with empathy. So I'm just going to give you the framework for this. Okay, so if you're prospecting to a client, if you're sending an email or you're calling them on the phone or whatever, you say, hey, let's just use tech companies as an example. Tech companies are seeing less money from VCs. They're going through layoffs and their growth is declining, right? So you can lead with that. Say, hey, Mr. CRO or Mrs. CRO, I'm reaching out because I work with tech companies and I'm hearing CROs in your role sharing 3 challenges. Number 1 is less money. Number 2 is layoffs. Number 3 is their sales team is not selling as much. Now, if you sell anything to a sales CRO or anything that's going to help the sales team, then you're going to say, during these times, many CROs are looking for ways to make their existing team more effective and more efficient. By freeing up their selling time by 20 or 30%, we can actually help you do more with less amidst the hiring freezes in sales, right? You could also lead with another stat, like it used to be 47% of reps are over quota, now only 41% of reps are over quota. Not sure if you've seen that trend in your business, but we have new ways to give insights to sales reps to help them be more effective and overachieve. Companies that work with us are seeing a much higher, and then give proof, much higher percentage of quota as a result of working with us. Would you be interested in learning more? Would you be open to meeting? Would you be open to hearing some ways that we can help? Okay? Call to interest, not call to action, but call to interest. Okay? So again, to summarize, if you want to sell and crush it during recession, block out the noise. Keep your head down, stay focused. Okay, those who thrive now are going to come out stronger. Okay, the weak will basically not last right now, right? So you have a chance to differentiate and stand out when you're crushing it when other people aren't. Okay, number 2, focus on the process, not the prize. One day at a time, RGAs, revenue generating activities. And number 3, adapt your messaging. Use those 7 words that I shared. That's exactly why we need to meet. And lead with empathy by saying, I understand what you're going through. Here are some ways that I think we can help. Would you be open to learning more? Okay. Would you be interested in learning more? Call to interest. I'm Ian Koniak. I hope this helps you. Guys, keep your faith up. Keep your head up. I promise you, people are buying right now. You just got to stand out to get in. You got to stand out, right? You can't do what you used to do or you're going to get the same results. Instead, step up level your game. If you need help, if you need coaching, you know where to find me and I can help you get there. Until then, peace. I'm out.